You've just unveiled the Triumph 450 there. I have to say you've done an amazing job keeping it from the media. I was quite surprised when I seen that it was going to be launched on Thursday.
Yeah.
So was that a challenge, and just how much work went into developing, and when did it actually start the development? Because it was all very quiet.
So, yeah, I mean, it's always a challenge to try and keep things out of the media, for sure. Everyone's looking for that spy shot, looking for that. And I think the MX paddock has been, it's really hard to keep stuff in the MX
For sure.
paddock. We have to do a lot on private testing tracks. We keep everything super locked down and tell as few people as possible when it's going on. But we've got a super tight group, and you know they're really good at keeping it all confidential. The project, obviously, the chassis project's rolled over from the 250 anyway. The engine project started slightly behind the 250, so it's a similar kind of development, about 3 years, 3.5 years for the engine project. But we're super proud of what we produced. The bike's killer.
And when did you start the development just on the 450? And like, did it happen in many countries, or did you just focus on a few tracks here or there? How did that all work?
No, so we try and make sure we're testing in multiple countries. Yeah. Obviously, the dirt's different wherever you go, and the tracks are different and different scales. You know, so I mean, we use a lot in the UK, but we test in Spain, we've tested in France, we've tested in America. The actual date of start of development, I'd have to go back and double check it. But about 3.5, 4 years ago from here.
Wow, okay. Yeah. That's interesting. And just on the MX2 GP season this year, I mean, as you said there in the press conference, 5th in the world, it seemed a bit of a risk for guys joining, because obviously you don't know how a new brand's going to go until you're a year in the project, so you must be pretty proud, and to start the season with the podium in Argentina, an absolute dream.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, for our racing efforts to start from nothing and bang out of the box and getting that third in Argentina, all credit to Mikkel, all credit to Vince and the team, you know. They've done an amazing job at taking that bike and turning it to a full factory machine. And it's not been easy along the way. You know, we've learned a lot coming new into the sport, but both Mikkel and Camden have performed incredibly well. And not just the MXGP team. I mean, Jalek Swall's had some of his best seasons and his first heat race win and things like that in Supercross as well. So if someone had said last year we would have had this season, I don't think anyone would have believed us. So yeah, it's incredible.
And one thing that impresses me with the bike, the 250, which we've seen racing, sand, hardpack, and even Supercross, it's pretty good everywhere, which is very difficult to do in year one. So it should only get better.
Yeah, and it's kind of what Ricky was saying in terms of the window of adjustability is really good on the bike. The frame's unique to us in the 4-stroke category anyway. So it gives us a real good ability to be able to tune the chassis, get riders comfortable on it, and really extract the most we can out of the engine. But you're right, multiple different dirts or kind of terrains that it goes in, the bike just seems to perform.
And just on the team, I think you picked a really good team there to run the GP setup, and also having Clement as well involved, because I was speaking to Vince earlier in the year and he said Clement's very fussy, but actually that's what you need to develop a bike.
Yeah, we couldn't ask for a better team in the paddock. They have developed the bike, represented the brand, put the bike on the box, and it really comes down to what we've done all through the project. We've tried to surround ourselves with the best of the best. Clement's a prime example of that. Fussy? No, I don't think fussy is the right word. He's very particular. He knows what's good. His feedback is incredible, and he's still a super fast rider as well. You know, you can stand and watch people on the track, and you can see a bike go round. And I remember the first time I went and watched Clement ride, and it's like, he's fast, you know. So yeah, it's an incredible opportunity for us to work with those kind of guys.
And when you look at other brands in the paddock, obviously at the minute it's only MX2 that you've focused on, which is fair enough for year one. But when you look at other brands, you know, they've got maybe a satellite team in MX2. They've also got an MX250 team. maybe not next year, but is that something you're looking to have in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're always going to look to expand our racing program from where we are at the moment and make sure that we're representing the brand and the bikes in the right way. So next year we'll carry on concentrating on our MX2 program, build it out, make sure it's solid. 2026 is the aim for developing to roll into MXGP, and the same 450s in the States. Next year we'll run on both coasts in the States, and when we feel is the appropriate point, we'll spread that out to factory teams or running in EMX 250. I think the other thing we'll concentrate on is starting to concentrate on national championships as well. You know, obviously these series are great; they do it at the high level, but what we need to do is get it into the grassroots of the sport so people can see it, touch it, smell it, you know, and really get hands-on with the bike.
Well, that was my next question actually, because it's a British brand. It would be nice to see it in the British Championship. Do you think that's likely to happen next year?
Yeah, I reckon we'll have a team in the British Championship next year.
That'll be nice. And obviously, initially the plans was to race MXGP next year, but as Ricky touched on, timing, it's better to wait to get things 100% right. So can you confirm the plan is to have an MXGP team in 2026? And logistically, is there enough room in the awning to have 4 Triumph, or would you be looking maybe for another team to run the MXGP setup, or is that still to be decided?
We're still working through the plan at the moment. Likelihood is we'll start with 1 MXGP rider and run 2 MX2 riders. 3 riders within the tent is probably okay, but longer term we'll look to see how that expands and how it plans out. What we do know is that Vince and his team can run an incredible team and they can develop the bike to the right standard. We don't want to compromise that with necessarily partnering with someone who wouldn't be the right team. So we'll walk before we can run and move from there.
And just on America this year, obviously Swole was very good for the first year on the bike. Obviously it didn't go to plan with Ferry and Safaci. Maybe if we would have knew there wouldn't be a 450 ready next year, maybe he wouldn't have even signed. But overall I think it was still solid, especially Jalik's results. So you must have been happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, Jalik's great kid. He's ridden really, really well. 2 great seasons, great season in Supercross, great season in outdoors as well. Really gelled with the bike, looks super comfortable, looks comfortable through the whoops. Evan unfortunately didn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and we need to let riders go and find other opportunities. Joey is just down to the 450. If we had a 450, or if the 450 had stayed on track and had come, Joey would still be with us. We offered him the opportunity to ride 250 only outdoors again, but it really comes down to that rule thing. It wasn't right for Joey's career to keep him just doing another year of 250. So.
And it sounds like next year, you're obviously not going to tell me the riders, but it sounds like you're going to have 4 250 Supercross riders, 2 for each coast.
Yeah, so
that's going to be big on the budget.
It expands it slightly from where it is at the moment, but obviously if we only race on one coast then we miss 50%, and the west coast is a big dirt bike riding coast, so we need to make sure we're representing our brand across it all. We have got some good riders lined up, so it'll be an exciting year next year.
And just on a personal level, how did you get involved with this Triumph project? And obviously your head, are you enjoying the role and how it's all going, and are you getting to go to plenty of GPs and also in America, or what way does that work for you on a personal level?
So I've worked for Triumph for 21 years.
Okay.
I started as an engineer and worked my way through the engineering department, and I moved to product strategy when we started the off-road project. So Ricky and I got involved with the project around about the same time, to be honest. And since then I've seen it through into the production side of things and then stepped more into the racing. The racing it's exciting. There's a lot to do though. It was never going to be quick to get there. But we've got a plan. We'll carry on building it. In terms of travel, yes, I managed to travel around, but we try and pick the key events to make sure that we go to and support all the teams in the right way.
And having Ricky Carmichael, obviously the 450's named after him, what's it like working closely with him, the goat of America?
Yeah, I mean, he was a proper kind of pinch yourself moment when I remember the first time I met Ricky, the first time I saw him ride our bike around a track. You know, it's incredible. But I mean, the best thing is he's a great ambassador for the brand. He's super nice to work with. He spends not just how you see him in the paddock where he stops and talks to his fans. That's how he is when he stops and talks to the engineers and kind of grabs the time with them. He's just, we couldn't ask for a better ambassador to be involved with.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time and good luck for the Tram future.
Thank you very much.